My name is Auri. I've been at C3 Home for, believe it or not, 7.5 years now. I remember the Ganamata days. We were at the pavilion and, would push trolleys and set up the curtains and all the lights. And back 2014 it was. I think C3 Home, or C3 Cronulla back then, was like 3 or 4 months old. So I really got to see the early days of what is now C3 Home. And first time I walked in, I remember seeing Stephen Bax and Christopher Jeeves, which was so cool to just see them serving on the very first time that I saw them. They were pushing trolleys like the curtain poles. And the moment that I walked in, I really knew it's all about people here. It's they love Jesus and they love people. I don't think I ever checked out any other church because I didn't need to. I knew that this is my home, and I've been here for 7.5 years, and I've never looked back. So I grew up in a Christian home. I've got the most amazing parents. I've got 6 siblings, so I grew up in quite a big family. I'm number 5 of 7. I remember my parents every night, they would be praying in the bedroom. And we had men's night recently, and I remember Aaron Stein and I sharing how it is to grow up in a Christian home. There was this rule in our household that when my parents are praying, we can't interrupt them because they're praying. Like, you don't just go to mom and dad, and when they're talking to God, you don't interrupt them. And what that did for us, it always instilled this respect and this awe for God, that it's special, and it's really important to talk to God. Yeah, just to see my parents pray every night really did something for myself. My dad, since I was born, or just before I was born, they moved to Germany so that he can work for a mission station. So from a very young age, I saw my dad preaching on Sundays and being really involved in ministry, heading up a church. And it was just really interesting to see that from a Christian household. From what I remember, I came to Christ when I was 8 years old. I remember walking into my bedroom after, it must have been some kind of devotional that my dad was doing, or I might have been coming home from church. But I was kneeling down in front of my bed and just, had my face in my hands, and I just knew that I have to commit my life to God, and I have to get Him control over my life. And I was 8 years old. Like, what do you know when you're 8 years old? But it was just this almost, innocent early stage. Just I knew that God existed and just wanted to be with God. And as it is in anyone's life, whether you're grow up Christian or non-Christian, you just go through different stages in your life. You go through your primary school and all these things, and then teenage years. I would say between 16 and 18 years old, it might just be my German heritage, but I was very, very black and white, and everything had to make sense. There was either a yes or a no. There was no gray zone. And so I found Christianity quite frustrating because it was things are either really wrong or really right. And so I became quite judgmental, and I would really, really struggle accepting that there are some things that I don't understand, that God is above my logic. I remember my brother actually telling me, that God created logic, and so He's actually above logic. So it doesn't actually have to make sense to you. And which later in my Christian journey, I came to the point where I realized just because I don't understand the truth doesn't make the truth wrong. If there is an absolute truth, then my truth is subjective at best. And so my job is actually not to change the truth, but to align my truth to the truth, which is Jesus. He says, "I'm the way, the life, and the truth." And so especially coming to C3 Home, I saw Christians enjoy the Christianity a lot more. Maybe that's just the Pentecostal style, but I realized that the fruit of the Spirit is real, and that there's joy, that there's grace, that there's love, that there's really enjoyment. And I started to deal a lot better with this gray zone of, there's some things we don't understand. I remember James calling it the mystery bucket. And that's okay. There's the core foundation that we were sinners and now we're saved, and we were lost and now we're found, and these are things that I stand by, I totally believe, and that really build a foundation for my faith. But there are some things that I just don't fully understand, and it's okay. I don't know when Jesus will come back, and I don't know what will happen in 2 months, and I don't know if certain promises will come to pass. but that's totally okay. I know the foundations and I know what I built my faith on, and that's enough to have a joyful, a flourishing Christian life. And so that I would say, you know, we always journey in our Christian faith, and there's never a point where we arrive and we're like, I'm like Jesus now. So we always, you know, at the moment we talk a lot about, or we have talked a lot about becoming more like Jesus. We become better apprentices, and I find to be part of C3 Home has just been a really, really healthy thing for my soul, for my life, and that's why I'm still here. And I've never regretted attending, I've never regretted serving, I've never regretted giving, because I know what this church does for people, what it has done for myself, and I'm more than, you know, happy and encourage others to invest in this church as well, because it is truly about God and about people. So I really recommend it.